Can I just go through the whole background and ask you about everything for the webinar? I'm joking.
Yeah, man. Topic of combo all
I'm
day.
joking. Let's get started. The last time you joined us, people had a lot more questions for you. So we wanted to do another part.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure this is going to be the same way. This is being recorded. It'll go on to the YouTube channel for Follow Up Boss, which, by the way, I love your hat, Jeff. Great Follow Up Boss hat.
Yeah, bud.
And today we're going to be talking about how he and his company, Osirs, how do you spell that? Because I always spell it wrong when I Google it.
It's Osirs. So
How
just one eye.
Osirs, one eye, connects all of these pieces together to Follow Up Boss. We're going to show some past client processes with Client Giant, Zapier, and some other fun stuff. Jeff, do you have something to share with us on screen, or are we just going to talk it out?
Yeah, a little bit of both. You know, it's what I wanted to share was like what kind of cool technologies available to us that we're maybe not integrating very well. And then I wanted to provide, everybody an automation within Follow Up Boss to execute those systems, right? And I think one thing before I jump into that is technology, and the word can is always a yes, right? Can it connect this? Can it do this? Can it do this? It's always yes. It's really just trying to figure out the how. And so whenever you're kind of come up with these ideas, think with what the end in mind is, right? What are you trying to accomplish? And then reverse it into the technology, or else you're just going to play shiny object syndrome on what looks cool, what looks fancy. And you don't necessarily need to do that. Sometimes the technology is over engineered. You don't need to do all these fancy things, but just think about the goal, right?
That's true. That's very true. What a great point, man. It's not always whether you can, it's do you need it?
Right. And again, if like for the one I want to show you, there's been a number of questions about some post-closing, reoccurring home anniversary stuff. And so I wanted to share, an idea to connect either like a Client Giant or, connecting AM cards campaign, all sorts of things you can connect yourself. But think about like, okay, every year you want to, on the home anniversary date, or use this as a tax date, right? So you could put, tax returns due by April 15th, and 30 days before that, I want all my clients to get something specific. Right.
Got it.
So what I'm going to share is inside of Follow Up Boss. And as you see this, so I've got my Osirs account pulled up. We've got our, home purchase anniversary. Right.
All right, cool.
And the automation, I'm just going to create a simple automation. And this calendar date of home purchase anniversary is tomorrow.
All right.
And so I'm going to do that. And then I created an action plan that's called Home Anniversary.
Easy.
Okay. And this home anniversary has got a couple emails, and it's got 2 tags.
Okay.
These tags are going to be my vehicles, my triggers for all the other things that I want. Okay. So in this one, I did Client Giant is my category, home anniversary, right? So let me talk about that for a second.
Please.
This organization in tags is vital. You have a title now called Client Giant, and then you can have subcategories of home anniversary, new client, referral, whatever, but it's all underneath this header of Client Giant, right? So for organization, same thing for AM cards. And so these are just the vehicles to do that. And going back to the automation, it's going to trigger that action plan.
Okay.
Right. And it's going to run it every year. Okay. So anytime I want to change my anniversary action plan, I just change one thing and everything else will take care of itself, right? So now, how do we get these into wherever we want to go.
Yeah.
That's a Zapier operation. Okay.
Okay.
And so I'm going to share both this automation and this Zap with everybody.
Got
Okay.
it.
But the big thing I wanted to share with you is like, I'll get to like the cool technologies that are available to us,
Okay.
but I wanted to share that the tags are my triggers, right? So if I want to trigger, a call action, I could use
Okay.
call action dash, right? So
Okay.
be thinking about like you're standardizing your triggers using tags. And then inside this Zap, right, to make it simple, follow up boss is my trigger,
Okay.
and then tag. Now I
Easy.
went ahead and already added this tag to a contact,
Okay.
right? So I'm going to pull up my account. I'm going to connect. I'm not going to get into the weeds with this too much,
Okay.
but now that's going to ask for the tag name, right? And so let's see, go back to this one. Okay, paste
Okay.
it. There we go. And it should, you're gonna have to test this a little bit, but it should trigger that contact record, right? Boom, boom.
Okay. Got it. Easy.
So now theoretically, every year, one day before my home anniversary,
That's cool.
that tag's gonna get applied. And now I've got, okay, this one was for Client Giant, but so I can easily go paths. Right now, paths, this is a multi, like, hey, if it does this, then go this way. If it does this, then go this way. Just like it sounds. But I wanted to show this.
easily.
Yeah, and so I wanted to show this as like, this is what's possible. You may not do this, right? But you could very simply go to Client Giant next, right? Now they do have a Zap. I think you have to get lumped onto them,
Mhm.
right? But if you remember EvaBot, remember that
Yeah, I
system
remember
that
Eva.
came out? Yeah, so I still use this in a lot of ways. And you can connect this gifting system, right? So whatever you want to do, but as long as the filter of my Client Giant, of my tag includes,
Got it.
right? So now it says, okay, this tag, as long as that tag's on there, but, and I think they've changed this. Yeah, it's got to be exact. But you can see the idea of being able to just simply connect that, right? Now, what
see
about if
that.
AM cards, right? Same thing. So once the AM cards tag hits that contact, then I can choose my AM cards anniversary drip campaign, right? So a lot of these tech have developed Zaps and Zapier
Mhm.
apps to make
Yeah.
it easy for us to do these operations without like being really techie and API and all that nonsense. But
Mhm.
it's what's possible, even through Zapier, is going to help you discover what do you want, right?
I love that, dude.
There's another one that we're working with Follow Up Boss, and it's Testimonial Tree. Does that one ring a
Ooh,
bell?
dude. Yeah. Show that to me.
So there's Testimonial Tree,
Okay.
right? And so imagine again, I'm not going to change the framework too much, but imagine, I've got an automation that says as soon as the stage gets changed to closed,
Okay.
right? And that
Mhm.
action plan has the tag of Testimonial Tree.
Okay.
That's my trigger to get to here. And now I can send my testimonial request,
Nice.
right? So that one setup in FUB can take care of the actions of everything if you just think about what do I want at the end, right? And then kind of reverse it from there. So that tech I kind of want to go through too, but what other scenarios there might be of help
Well,
and value?
I'm thinking on the past client one. Hold on. I want to see if I can share my screen really quick, because I'm going to go into Client Giant. Just for those of you who aren't familiar with Client Giant, I'm not going to log into the back end. I'm just going to show you. So here's Client Giant, and here are the client care options, right? The one that you're talking about for the anniversary one, I'm assuming is going to be the situational gift, right?
Yep.
Because you can pick whichever one you want. But now I'm thinking, dude, for certain people, like as soon as we change the tag to now they just referred me somebody, right?
Right.
And now I want to put them onto, let's say, top of mind. It automatically starts it up, right?
That's right.
I love that, because now all I have to do is change the tag on somebody who's already in my system. Be like, you know what? They just referred me. Jeff just referred somebody to me. I'm just going to change them now to A. Now they're in A past client. And for me, all A past clients are on top of mind, right? My top 100. You can change it to your top 100. And there's just so much you can do with that. And I love that, because look at the transaction packages and retention plans, right? The retention plans we went into. The transaction packages, dude, you can go crazy on your tags, right? If they become a seller, buyer, investor, loan. I want to see this one. It's like, what happens? Boom, all this.
Yeah, it's killer.
And then all of a sudden,
it's a great product,
dude. But tying them together to give me less work, that's the key to that, right?
That's right. Yeah, and it's, you know, when it comes to Zapier that's the vehicle, right? That's just the vehicle to get what I want. And there's other vehicles out there, right? API is a vehicle, right? Other than Know of Integromat and now Make, those are the vehicles. Zapier is easy to do it with fairly, right? So I want you to think in my triggers and my actions, and then what's the vehicle to get from A to B? And really that's it. And stage change in Follow Up Boss is a better trigger in terms of Zapier than a tag. Okay, and so let me show you. So when you're creating these, if I'm going to use the Follow Up Boss app and I'm going to use tag, well, it's asking a specific tag, right? I got to be very specific here, right? But if I do stage change, stage updated, now this is not required. So I don't have to select anything right here at all, right? And so now, if I use this as my trigger, if I go down here to the different options, i.e. my paths, I could go, okay, when the stage changes to past clients, run these. When the stage changes to closed, run these. When the stage changes to appointment set, run these, right? Now I've just used one vehicle to do multiple things, and it's more efficient. It's all that.
Dude, I want you to set this up and it go from, okay, they just became a past client. That tag now, it does two things. One, let's say you do the home anniversary gift. The next part to this is you throw them onto Agent Legend, which is a partner with Follow Up Boss. And now it's going to include text threads in there, right? It's going to include voicemail drops in their video emails that are already pre-made. That's what I'm talking about. When you combine both together, right? Then all of a sudden it becomes powerful, and you're like, what's this? Dude, this is all about leveraging all of the tech and being able to do more with less.
Right. And I think we get so caught up in moving so fast that we need to take a breath and slow down and go, what's my end target, right? Build with the end in mind, and then reverse it into how do I get there, right? Because you can go, oh my God, Client Giant's got this, and I want to do this, and I want to do this, and I want to do this. You know, take a breath, start with one, and then it'll just kind of exponentially grow as you learn and as you develop. But the sky's the limit because of how good the Follow Up Boss Zap and API is. right? It's helped all these other technologies build their companies to work with it. So you've got so much at your disposal. It's not even funny. It's hilarious.
Dude,
It's
that's it.
ridiculous.
I think
So yeah.
that's the key. I think right there, starting with the end in mind and then moving slowly because there are so many little pieces to this, right? And I think
Right.
that's where you lose people as well. So what are you excited about working on when it comes to the testimonial thing? Is there any other piece to that? Because that excites me because a lot of agents are missing the opportunity there.
So I like these guys because they're good human beings that have built this, and their whole idea is to make sure that you're in charge of your testimonials. So it'll sync to a lot of the real estate websites. It'll sync to Google, of course. I mean, they're widely used in real estate, and they've got a great API. They've got a great Zap. It's really easy to work with. So you can create your custom emails, your custom questions. You can adjust that for a new client, to an existing client, to a past client. You've got lots of opportunities versus just sending a review me on Google link, which you're gambling if that's going to be good, right?
Yeah,
Where
very true.
here there's a layer of protection and you can choose and have more control, right? So it's a great product for that. And the other one too is I was working on is Callingly, right? Callingly is
Oh, yeah, dude.
yeah. So if you
Forgot
remember,
about those guys.
yeah, he's a great smart dude that built this, and he started to integrate more and more and more and more into Follow Up Boss. And we've just used the heck out of it for some of our teams. And imagine if you're a team leader and you're doing an audit or you have a set of audit lists that you're like, these leads got missed on their call, right? So I can go through my list and select the tag that says Callingly start, and that tag triggers my call in, right? And I could call all my agents, right? Now Callingly's a system doesn't call the lead.
Yeah.
It's a connection tool, right? And what it does is you can choose to call one agent or everybody at the same time, right? Just like the team inbox settings, right?
Mhm.
But it's got some little extra functionality where after that phone call, you can disposition it, right? So you could say that was an appointment, that was a hot lead, send it to the pond, whatever, and then it'll update in the system for you, right? So it's smart in that regard. And as a team leader, you can automate that first phone call to a lead really whenever you want.
That's very
Right?
true.
It's
I love that,
pretty,
man.
pretty crazy. And I'm seeing teams that were like with ISA divisions making a Callingly call every day for 7 days on their internet leads, because then for those ISAs, they literally just have to answer the phone and boom, they're connected to the lead. It's crazy good.
I like that. I like that a lot, man. So what are you excited about connecting next?
So the one I've been kind of, eyeing here and working on is data and reverse lookup, right? Is I feel like data and getting, good solid like phone numbers, emails, addresses, that kind of thing. We're moving into a time where if you can get somebody who's likely to move without having to go buy a Zillow lead, right? And your cost of lead is lower,
Yeah.
you could scale that. So I'm looking at systems like, My Plus leads, right? I'm not sure if you've given those guys a go, but we can do a reverse lookup system there where let's say a lead automatically comes in with just an email, no phone,
Okay.
or just an email, or just a phone number, no email. Well, you
Mhm.
can go hashtag lookup, and this will auto look up the leads and find as much info as it can on it. Okay. And it'll dump in the address, it'll dump in the email, it'll dump in any phone numbers it can find.
Nice, dude.
Right.
And
So let's connect.
you connected that. I love that.
Yeah.
Show me that.
Well, so it's not quite live yet, but again, it's the same same vehicle, right? So this is my plus leads. And right now we're using these guys for FISBOs, expireds, that kind of data source. And they will connect directly to follow-up boss, right? So we're using the same data pools that they do and just using tag, just like from your tag trigger in Zapier, the exact same way, right? When a tag gets applied of hashtag lookup, right?
Yeah.
Then plug in the details to a lookup system, get all the info, and then auto apply it back onto the lead, right? So here's some use cases.
Oh,
okay,
please show me.
you could go to, and My Plus Leads has this, you could get a list of people who have owned their home longer than 3 to 5 years, right? You could go to your title company and get a list of homes, right? That might be a little bit more accurate. Get that list, dump it into your follow-up boss, apply the lookup tag, get the most accurate information you can. And then if you connect like a reevaluate type system, now I'm only going to get to the people who are going to likely to move, and I'm going to market to that group, right? What a great use of all those technologies to find not the needle in the haystack, but something that's a little bit, maybe a little bit easier to find. But now I can spend more money on that specific group versus blasting an entire neighborhood and seeing what sticks. Like I'm an agent, right? And so I tell my wife, I get these marketing emails and flyers and mail from agents, and I'm like, this guy should not be spending this $1.50 on me, right?
No.
And that connection helps you to not have to do that. Now you're going to be more targeted in your approach, and that could be a better lead source than some of the portals.
That's so true,
right?
man. That's because it's more strategic, right? It makes a lot more sense. All right. So let's say somebody hires Osiris. What are the first few things you do for them? Like, what should we be working on if we weren't going to hire you? And what do you work on if we hire you?
Well, I appreciate that. And so there's two areas that I've kind of built is these individual products, right? Like the lookup. And I'm looking for gaps and holes and problems that we can solve using the technologies. And I'll go plug all that stuff together for you. And then that way, when you sign up, you don't have to go worry about all that stuff, and you're good, right? Those are the $100 to $50 to $150 a month kind of things. But then we have our system membership where you're like, okay, come in there and standardize our systems, right? And so we're going to help standardize your platform so that the goal is you could scale agents, you could scale lead sources. And you're not like with every lead source or with every new thing, you're having to figure out a specific flow for that. It's figure out which way it goes, and boom, it's part of those rules, right? So we'll come in there and we ask a series of questions like, tell us your top lead sources, the middle lead sources, and maybe some handout or some like high funnel type lead sources, and we'll program not only your CRM, but we'll get all these connections put together for you so that you can focus on the areas of the business that you want, right? And so these are some of our zaps that we run for our entire team.
What do you typically run for, like a single agent? Just so I understand, like what would a single mega agent coming in, what does that look like?
So think about the problems that they foresee, right? Is I get a lead, I'm okay with working a lead, but if it doesn't respond to me, then I ain't doing anything. I don't have the time to continue to follow up. So we automate the moving of that lead into another pond for them. And then we can execute a call action campaign. We could get them on a HomeBot, get them, again, anything that's possible there, retargeting campaign, et cetera, right? So
do you guys
busy.
Also set up, so like for a mega agent, I think mega agents have a little bit more tough time identifying where they can get the help. So this makes more sense, I think, for somebody like that.
Yeah, it's again, where should they be spending their 10%? Where are they spending their time? What's the most highest producing activity for those agents? And it's a full contact sport, right? So it's got to be with the people who are going to transact in the next 30 to 60 days. So let's leverage everything off, so that's the target on the wall that we do for megas now.
I like that, dude. I like that a lot. What about, do you guys also set up like the back end for follow-up boss, kind of like what Elena does, Elena Key, or no?
Yeah, we work closely with her. We don't draft any content. We rely on her because she's brilliant and she's got great content. And so what we're doing is we're setting up, the tag system, a good stage system, a pawn system, to where the biggest thing is movement of leads are automatic, right? So like we've got one where you can apply the seller homebot tag and this dumps into homebot automatically. You could do send digest and this will automatically send the homebot digest.
That's so good, dude.
A lot of these little things that we do that you may not even notice, but they add up to leverage and automation and standardization.
Once you have everything in place, it's like it becomes a lot easier. I just noticed that your name is Jefe Test, which is boss.
Yeah, you like that?
That's funny. Who set that one up? That's funny.
That'd be this guy.
Jefe. What's up, Jefe? That's the best. So funny. All right, dude. What's the website so people can go and visit? I want to put it into the chat.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, so it's osiris.io. We just migrated over to osiris.io. And it is live with all of our stuff. We're going to be doing, masterminds and webinars ourselves too. But again, like I wanted to be here to help kind of put together what you want into how to do it. The can is always possible, but if you need to brainstorm ideas, I love chatting with people who've got visionary, and they want to put something fun together.
Dude, could you set up our, just generalized question, could you set up Agent Legend?
Yeah,
same back end, and like if we've got all of the content. So let's say I don't have any help. Let's say it was just me, and I'm like, I've got all this stuff, but I just don't have the time to add it all into Agent Legend and then connect it to Hub. And do you guys do all that?
Yeah, absolutely. Like one thing that we've been flirting around with is come up with these like how-to videos and then just throw it onto our YouTube content, because this isn't that hard. It's just it can be complex. But it's just setting it all up to make sure the details are covered. So if you have those and you want us to shoot those videos for you, just send me a DM, email, whatever, comment on any of these posts.
What's your email?
I'm happy. Jeff at Osiris. I'll just type it in the menu bar here. So .co. And that will obviously send it to me. And then I'm happy to try to help, right? Because again, like this is so expansive that we understand you can't do it all, but we're here as a resource one way or the other.
All right, dude, I put the link to your website on the chat. Michael says, Jeff, you're a legend. Love being in this community. So
thanks, dude. Appreciate
Michael, that. Jama, what's up, dude? And then I put up your email address, Jeff at osiris.co, spelled with one I.
Yeah, the regular Osiris with two eyes is the shoe company, and I probably would have been sued if I used it.
There you go. There you go. Jeff, thanks so much, man. I always appreciate these. And then once you have that new full setup on, I'd love to go through that whole process with you.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Love to. Be awesome.
Nice hat.
All right. Thanks. Cheers. Have a good week,
everybody.